Welcome back everyone. Today we are going to talk about how to pass objects as argument and how we are going to receive the objects as argument. Of course in C++. Because in C++ we'll be discussing various methods, various functionalities of class and objects. Okay, if you just take a look at the example that is given right here, we have a class definition that is of class time. This time class is having two variables, two data members defined in the private section, that is R and minute. Three member functions in public section, that is get, put and sum. Out of these three functions, there is one particular function given in the blue part, highlighted in the blue part. This sum function is receiving two objects of class time that has been declared inside the brackets. That means sum function is going to receive two objects of class time, and another one, that is the time, as a return type. That means at the end of the function execution, this sum function is going to return an object of the same class time. So if you just match these things, fine, arguments, fine, t1 and t2 as a class objects, as well as returning object as small t object, so everything is matching. So this particular function is going to be very crucial, very important in order to understand the functioning of passing objects as arguments and returning object as argument. Okay, now allow me to execute the main function definition where we are going to create the object. Whenever a class is executed, an object is going to be created. That means the memory location for the same object is given. Okay, now everyone just take a look at the diagram and continuously follow the diagram with the main function definition. Okay, in the main function, in the Word document itself, I have listed out these steps. These steps you can refer from the diagram. For example, step number 1, that is given in the first part. See, objects are initialized. Step number 2, that is in the green fonts. So this one is going to be step number 2, followed by something in sky blue part, and finally red part. So these are going to be the sequence of executions so that you can understand the functioning of the overall programming. Okay everyone, first of all, let us get started with the first line of the main function, and that is creation of 4 different objects. Right here inside the diagram we have created 4 different objects, capital T1, capital T2, capital T3 and capital T4. So these are going to be 4 different objects. Initially each and every object will be having garbage values inside their R and minute variables. Later on, if we just focus on these two parts, there is a function called for get function for both the objects T1 and T2. So initially 2 and 45 are being stored temporarily in H&M, later on being passed to R and minute of the first object, that is T1. So that is how T1 is initialized with value 2 and 45. Just like that, 3 and 30 are being stored in H&M temporarily and later on being passed to R and minute, and that is how object T2 is initialized. Okay, now the main part, the main core part of the entire program, and that is sum function given in the sky blue part, everyone. So this part we have tried to make a function call to sum function. Okay, that is important. It is a class member function, and an object of the same class can make a call to the class member function, and that job is getting done by T3 object. So the task of T3 object is nothing but to make a call to sum function. So that is going to be step number 2 in the diagram. T3 is calling sum and passing entire T1 and T2 object values to sum function. So what happens actually is the values of T1 and values of T2 objects are being copied inside the sum function newly created object, that is small t1 and small t2. If you just take a look at the functioning, right, after a function call, a function definition has to be executed. So right after this function call to sum, the definition for the same is going to be executed. So the values of T1 and T2 objects are being temporarily copied into newly created small t1 and small t2 objects. So that is the temporary part is given in the small box right inside the diagram, that is inside small function. That means these 3 objects will live temporarily up to the execution of sum function. Okay, so that is how T1 object and T2 objects will receive the values 245 and 330 respectively. Later on, if you just focus, we have created one more object, that is t, small t object. So Inside the sum function itself, a new object small t is temporarily created. Now if you just uh, add the variables, right, from t1 and t2 and copy the addition inside the minute part, that will be 75. Fine, everyone, in the diagram, small t1 and small t2 minutes will be added and being copied into minutes of small t object, that is 75. Another functionality, that is t dot minute divided by 60. So 75 is going to be divided by 60. The quotient will be 1 and 1 is being stored inside the R of t object. So that is how the first value 1 is being stored in R. Another condition, another functionality, that is t dot minute, that means we are talking about the previous value in the minute, that is 75. 75 modulo 60, that will give you 15. So this 15 value is getting stored inside minute of the same object t. So 75 is going to be replaced with 15. So that is how the value 15 is being placed here. One last thing, one last functionality inside sum function, that is the addition of the R variables for all the three objects, that is t1, t2 and t itself. So 2 and previous value of t is that will be 1. So all the previous values of t, t1 and t2 are being added and it is going to be suppressing the value in t. So new value of t dot r will be 6. So that is how small t object is created with the values, final values 6 and 15. So that is how the object is created. Finally, after the object is ready, we are going to throw it back to the main function. So that is the job of return t. So t object is being thrown to the main function where it is being cut by object t4. So that is given in step number 4. Everyone, this is just diagram. Take a look at the diagram, everyone, please. So t object is created, is ready. The values are being passed on to object t4 inside the main function. So t4 object of main function will be receiving the values 6 and 15 as a final catch. Fine. So now we are having three objects initialized, that is t1, t2 and t4. Once again, t3, the job of t3, that was just to make a function call to some function, nothing else. So still it will be holding the garbage values. So we are not going to print it. Fine. Finally, t1, t2 and t4, all the three objects are being printed, and that is how passing objects as argument and returning object as argument is getting done. All right. Thank you.